Mm. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Alpenglow Industries Solder Sesh. I'm Carrie Sundra, and I have with me Kitty Yeung, and she does amazing stuff. Her company and her handle and company is Art by Physics or Art by Physicist.
Art by Physicist.
Art by Physicist. And she has made some amazing circuit boards, as well as she's using very interesting techniques to do some digital fashion and reduce the waste of textiles, which is awesome. And we're really happy to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yay! So what we have here are your flowers, are your Bluetooth enabled flowers. They're super cool. They have sensors on the back. There's a brain right now. It's the morning. I'm not used to the morning. They have like a multi-axis accelerometer and gyro on here. So orientation sensor, as well as a vibration sensor, as well as a microcontroller, some buttons, USB, a battery connector, and of course, LEDs on the front.
LEDs.
Hey! So can you tell us a
touch
little bit?
sensor here.
Oh, and the touch sensor in the center. Yes, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell a little bit of the story about like why did you come up with them? You know, what is their intended purpose, and how that all came about?
Yeah, so these came as a pair because I wanted to have this nice interaction between people wearing these. So the original setting, the idea was for mother and child to wear, each have one, and they can connect to each other through Bluetooth and detect the distance. So if the child runs off for or being taken or whatever happens, the mothers can vibrate. So the mother gets an alert that the child is too far away. So she would start looking. So I got this idea because I had a story that I keep hearing from my mom that she almost lost me when I was 3.
I think a lot of parents have that story. Yeah. Like I've heard that from, I'm pretty sure like I've done that, and yeah.
Yeah, so it was nightmare for her.
Ugh.
And I was just playing hide and seek.
Yeah.
But then that practical joke turned into like a 3-hour long searching for me in the shopping mall and calling from the broadcasting to look for me. And then she found me hiding. She saw 2 little feet under a big coat. So I was hiding there the entire time. I was sweating and giggling when she found me. I don't think I have real memory of it. I think in my mind is just an image that from her description. But I thought that this is really common, and I wanted to build something that really addresses things like this, but also make it fun. So it's not just a security system; it's also programmable. So it has all these components you mentioned: the accelerometer, the Bluetooth, the LEDs, the distance sensing, and touch sensor. So you can use them to program whatever you like. You can wear this with your lover, with your friends, anything you like. You can wear this while you're dancing. So if you jump around, you can have different interactions. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. How much can you set the distance sensing to? Is it just when they're like, how what is like kind of what's the range on that?
It's up to you. It actually can go pretty far. I don't remember the limit, but the setting we have right now is like 2 meters. When it goes beyond 2 meters, it would start vibrating. So we have the code. I don't know if you'd like to look at some of the applications. We have a lot of the tutorials on Hackster.io. Let me find the screen share. Present screen share.
Okay. Yeah, it would be kind of cool. I was thinking like if you had like two friends at school or something, like if you were near each other in the hall but weren't maybe quite in visual range, or there were like a lot of people between you, like to get like a notification like, oh, my friend's nearby, kind of a thing. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. Yeah. So it really is up to you what you want to use this for.
Cool.
So the easy place to find is on my Hackster.io project page. And we actually had a series of projects built on this. So I can show you where it was first generated.
Nice. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
So many projects. That's awesome.
So actually, the very, very first thing I did was this dress. You see all these flowers on the dress? These are the same flowers.
Nice.
I hand painted them,
wow.
and they detect heart rate, and the LEDs are blinking according to your heart rate. So back then, I was using the Arduino Nano, and a lot of the also the brown dog gadgets and conductive tape to build the dress.
Nice.
So then I started thinking I want to use the same print to make the PCBs. And so then I take out, I have a lot of fabrics. So I cut out the fabrics from here. Basically, the scraps that I still had after building this dress. And then I turned them into fabric brooches. So these were the original prototypes.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. So those were made using the F-Robot's Beetle. Those are the tiny Bluetooth chips. I love the very small microcontrollers because you can embed it into clothes more easily. And I then just added components like LEDs and vibrating motor, and of course the battery holder. That's pretty much it. So I did a demonstration using the same print, and then the conductive tape, and then hooked it up, put it into this flower as a pouch, and then code it up for that same functionality, just detecting distance. So those were the mother and child. So I have a fashion brand that actually takes a lot of my prototypes into production. So I worked with the F-Robot to turn these into actual products. So
nice.
So then
how did that connection come about? And like, did you like, was it something that you applied for, that like a service that they were offering that you could apply for, or did you have to kind of pay them in order to do design work for you, or how did that all come about and work out? Because I imagine that there are a lot of people who, you know, might have ideas but not technical expertise in one particular area and could use help like bringing their designs to reality.
Yeah, so it was a collaboration. So even when I used the Beatles, I was already working with their team. So I got to know the F-Robot just basically through my friends during Maker Faire. And I have a lot of good friends in the Maker community, and we all want to work together. So basically, the F-Robot wanted to collaborate, and I got a lot of help from them on basically the distance sensing, especially because I was writing something, but it was kind of too sensitive and sometimes not very stable. So then I had a lot of back and forth with them already, discussing how to apply the microcontroller in that use case. And then just from there, we started generating an idea. What if we turn that into an actual product? And we want to make very beautiful technology. So not only, it's not only rigid microcontrollers. We want to make it something that's very artistic, and that also inspires more girls, especially to want to play with tech. So this, of course, wasn't really specifically targeted to girls, but is more trying to inspire more of anyone to be able to grab something to play and program and do their own applications. So of course, this was very inspiring for girls, which was very rewarding for me to hear. A lot of parents bought these for their children, and they gave me feedback that their daughters especially love these. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome. Yeah,
so
I think it's important. And it's also something that we try to do is to, you know, make these creative and fun circuit boards, because I think if you see something and you relate to it, you're like, oh, that's a flower. I know what a flower is, right? That is a comfortable image for me, right? Then I think that it just makes jumping into electronics a little less daunting. You know, if you look at like one of your flowers versus, let's say, like just an Arduino board next to it, and somebody knows nothing about electronics, I think that the flower is a lot more approachable. So
yeah, it shows people what is possible. We were kind of also pushing the limit of manufacturing a bit, because it's easier to manufacture rigid squares or rectangles. But we really were pushing the PCB cutting and really laid out everything in a way that is both artistic, beautiful, as well as functional. So on the back, you can see all these components. But on the front, it looks like a real flower. So it was really rewarding experience. And you see that also I had outfits that match with the flowers. That is kind of how I do things nowadays. So all of my designs have a collection. So the flowers, especially, and each collection has its own technology. So the flowers, if you look at my website, is got all these different things: the flowers, the shorts, and the top. The fabric itself, so you can buy fabric to make your own, and the masks, and also this prototype dress that is couture. So I made this available as free tutorials and fabrics people can buy.
Oh, nice. So now the actual garments for sale on your website, are they, I saw that some of them were like custom made for you where you sent in your measurements and stuff. Are all of the garments on your website like that? Or is it just some things and some are more like kind of standard clothing sizes?
We have two kinds. So the collection, you can see that there are some of them that have size fixed, but those were made a bit earlier on when I was just building the brand. It wasn't even possible when I started building the brand to customize clothes. So I had to make some batch orders with manufacturers. But later on, now I started using simulation. And I started taking people's measurements, and they can just give me all these measurements and build a 3D simulation avatar for the customer. And all these garments are fitted to them. So, so if you go to shop made to measure, those new ones are all made with one size or custom sizing. So
nice.
Yeah, I love this whole process that I had to learn how manufacturing works by building a lot of the early designs with what the manufacturers could do. But then I'm pushing the boundary. Like I want to really fit everything to each person. So I'm an early adopter of technologies like this, like 3D simulation.
Cool.
So this is the software that I use. And I'm actually wearing the same thing here. This is the Art by Physicist 2022 collection, which is the Meow. So these cats are on the fabrics are people's home cats. They submitted them to be printed on fabrics. And this is a painting of my friend Judy Wang's cat. So she hand painted these. And then I printed them on the fabric and fitted each pattern to different people's body size. So the avatar is specifically generated for different people. Yeah, so
Wow.
I'm actually
Yeah.
making this now.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
These are for
Check that out.
different sizes.
So for
Yeah, this
those
is
custom
really cool.
fit,
Our technology is ready.
yeah. So for those custom fit clothes, are you actually doing the sewing yourself then, or do you have like
So
a
when the
contract
order
manufacturer
is
that you
large,
send measurements
yeah,
to? Okay.
when the order is large, I would go to the manufacturer. Just give them. So the minimum order quantity is always a pain for designers.
Yeah.
So we want to do small volume and customize, but manufacturers are usually not quite there. So we need to get specific order number in order to make that happen. If the order is small, I would just do it one by one because I actually over the years got pretty good at sewing and it's really fast actually. So it's I think I want to do what people want. I don't want to do like make mass production of something then and people don't even need. So doing on demand is more sustainable and environmental friendly. So one piece at a time is what I'm pushing.
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, if you love the idea, please support us. And there are also things that you don't have to wait for custom sizing. Some of these there are available. So if you appreciate the technology application in fashion, please support us. There are not a lot of brands that are doing this. All of these all of these are my paintings as well. So
Nice.
yeah, all these designs are all based on painting, and also I basically I started this fashion brand as a way to show what is possible, and showing people we can do creative technology. So that's why all these designs either are digitally made or they have electronics embedded in them. For example, this one here has constellations, customized constellations. Here are the 12 constellations. You can pick yours.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So your garments that have electronics embedded in them, what is the care and washing process like for them?
Yeah, there are different kinds. So for this one, for example, is printed electronics is very thin film fabric that is ink printed circuit. So this you can just take it out from the clothes. I made it like a module you can add on.
Oh, cool.
And the other type are things like heaters or this one here, for example, is a solar panel. And this one, I can't go even to like full details. Not learning more about the payment.
Right.
Is Shopify. Yeah. So this is the solar panel that's on the bow. So you can just take off the bow when you can throw the rest of the garment in the washing machine.
Nice.
So yeah, all these designs have the user experience very carefully thought through. It's definitely new, so people do ask that question.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to show what's possible and also use this as a way to drive STEAM education and environmental awareness. So that's why I also donate percentage of profits to STEAM education and environmental protection nonprofits.
Nice.
I started using Kickstarter, for example, to drive on demand. So then we get the order quantity and we'll be able to carve a percentage of the pledge to donate to those nonprofits too.
Nice. Very nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any Kickstarters going right now?
I just finished this one actually. The Meow collection is this year's Kickstarter.
Nice.
So I can show you. So if you go to the new collection, it's got all these different options, not just a dress, but also home goods. So
Nice.
people send me their cats, and then I design them onto home goods like pillows, table runner, and napkins, all sorts of things.
That is awesome.
So yeah, I love this.
Oh my god, I love that one.
Yeah, I have more photos I should upload. This is this cat's name is Linda. I got to know all the cats' names too.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Order and then send me their cat photos. Yeah, the backers and customers to say that our cats love the pillow, or some people's cats are already passed, so they send their late cats photos, and it's a really nice memory for them. The pillow especially is the cat is pretty much the same size as the real cat, so it's a really nice reminder for
it's a nice little squishy thing that they can still hug their cat if they need to.
Yeah,
I like it.
So I just really enjoy the whole process of co-creating something with others.
Yeah.
So this is a fabric, you can see. This one has fabric napkin, table runner, bed sheets, and stuff. So these are all real people's real cats. Crowdsourced.
That's cool. So you don't have to justify the price of custom textiles to me, because I am a knitter. I am well aware of just how much money I will spend on yarn so that I have the pleasure of knitting myself a sweater out of it, right? But I think a lot of people are really used to fast fashion and very cheap clothes and things like that. So how do you approach that question of like, oh, why is your stuff so expensive? What do you say to people to help them understand all of the work that goes on behind the scenes to make that?
Actually, people who buy my stuff, they understand how much craft went into it and how reasonable the pricing is. So actually, I have not. If people are not interested in getting quality designs, they would go for fast fashion and just they buy cheap fashion that's not really my audience. So I like to get more people to understand how important it is to be environmentally conscious and support independent designers. So people who do support Art by Physicists already see the value. So they understand it's not just something disposable. It's something that they actually cherish, that they can keep for a very long time. And the garments are especially custom made for them. So that's a really big value add for people. Because right now you see just pretty much very cookie cutter type of fitting, and you have to fit yourself to the garment. But I'm making the garments to fit to their different bodies. So I just hope that more people will have the awareness of that. And this kind of clothing lasts much longer than those fast fashion. And also it's made for their body sizes, so they would wear it more often.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, let's get back to the flowers a little bit. And that was really cool. So I think Alex did a little hack session with the flowers. She hosted it. Yeah.
So we did a really nice hack during Christmas last year.
Nice.
It was all these awesome makers came together, and we did the online hacking, and we co-wrote this project. So you find a lot of tutorials here. I can show you a couple. So Tanya Fish, for example, made a spoon counter, which is a really eye-opening application of this. So she's using this touch sensing to count the number of spoons she still has left.
I like it.
Think about using this for other purposes. You can count whatever number you like with these LEDs.
I love it.
We can also, she has a lot of process prototyping this. It's super cool to see how people use these. We had a brainstorming session. This is a code you can download. It's all open source, so you can download and run this.
Nice.
And Alex did a breathing application. So mindful breathing. You want to hold your breath. You don't want to breathe too fast. You want to keep a deep, healthy breathing routine. You could use this to use it basically as a counter. So as the LED goes through a sequence, you hold your breath
so you,
for a certain
inhale, exhale.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. And the code is also available here.
Awesome. And so that's all in Arduino right now.
Yeah, it's in Arduino.
Nice.
I don't know if you want to see a live demo of this. I can run the code here.
Yeah, I would love it.
So I actually already saved this. So I will show you how to get started. So basically you copy the code from any of these projects and go to Arduino. And because I already had it here, for example, Alex code, copy and paste it here. So it's pretty simple. It tells you we are using Adafruit NeoPixel library. And then these are the pins that control the LEDs and the vibration motor. And then you just ask it to go through a sequence. So how you would program this is exactly the same as Arduino Uno. So when you plug this into the computer, you find it on Arduino Uno port, and then just do upload.
Nice.
That will turn into Alex's code.
Cool.
Yeah, wait a sec. Yeah, see? Start to count. Awesome. And we have a lot of sample code. I can show you a few more. We also did a hack for detecting elderly falls because it has the accelerometer on it. So you can sense the vibration if there's a sudden fall on the wearer. So the code is also
nice. How does it then? So the fall would be sensed on one, and then the other brooch would get like an alert about that. Is that how that would work?
That's what we wanted to get to. We haven't quite got there because we ran out of time. But the idea is there. Yes, we needed to figure out how do we. So the sensing is actually pretty straightforward. To sense the fall from the accelerometer, but then after the sensing, we need to send the signal to the other Bluetooth, and that's the other piece that we haven't included in the code here, but it should be pretty straightforward. You can use the existing mother and child code to enable that functionality, and I can show you where to find that mother and child code.
Yeah.
So we actually also have a Adafruit Learn on this. So Adafruit is also selling these here. Let's see. Only 5 in stock. And I know you also have 5 in stock.
Yep, we also got 5. Just saying, this is a great gift, and holiday season's coming up. Right. And it's cool. You get 2 per order. So it's,
Yeah.
so it's basically like $60 for the pair. They're 30 each. They're also like, I was saying, like, when I first got them, I was like, oh, they're bigger than I expected. Like, it's a relatively like large pin, and so it's like very noticeable and wearable, and yeah, very cool.
Yeah. It's really really fun thing. So I
And
made
yeah,
it
it's
purposely
like a
as a
lot of
book.
functionality too on each board for basically like $30 per board. It's like a full
Yeah.
Uno plus sensors plus vibration motor plus touch capacity. Like, yeah, it packs a good punch.
Yeah. We tried compressing this as much as possible, putting all these functionality onto a single board. So there's a lot of design work that went into this, and multi-layer PCB to put all these components on the same board and
Yep.
avoiding interfering with each other.
Yeah, and like integrated Bluetooth antenna too and stuff. So, yep.
Yeah. So okay. For yeah, if you are in the States, you can get them from Alpenglow or Adafruit. In Europe, you can get it from Art by Physicist. So we also have just a few left. Find that here is in the flower collection. And if you're in the UK, there's Pimaroni that has also some left.
Nice.
So yeah. So the DF robot has had the original starting point. So because we manufactured with the DF robot, we had a wiki page there. So it gives you sample code for how to code for the vibration motor, how to do the touch separately, which is really nice for learning, and RGB LED. So it walks you step by step. Then the accelerometer.
Cool.
So then you can do mix and match of different components, whatever way you want them to react. Very, very straightforward. And the sample code can be downloaded here. So the sample code includes a couple different things. So if you open here, the sample code folder, you find one called Kitty Mother and Kitty Child.
Nice.
So it will be defined in the code itself that the mother would receive a vibration when the child goes off, while the child's flower would turn off the light because the kids would like the light to be on. So if their lights are off, they will start to want to get back to mom to get it back on.
Nice. Yeah, that's interesting. It's maybe a little counterintuitive to begin with, but that makes sense. Like, yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So
cool.
Let me find the Adafruit's page.
That's really nice that that all of the different code pieces are broken out separately, because sometimes, like, part of, when you're just learning something, when you haven't worked with a sensor before, or a sensor like cap touch or a vibration motor before, you're like, okay, well, I need some guidance in how to get it going. And sometimes it's hard to pull just that section out of more complicated code that controls like that and a bunch of other things. So that's really nice that you already have it broken out in different chunks that's just ready to grab, put into your own thing, understand how that works, and then you can do the work of integrating all of those things and making them reactive to one another. That's super cool.
Exactly.
Very,
so that's
very friendly and approachable. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what this very first code is trying to do also. This is combining the touch and vibration. So this one is letting you, every time you touch it, it will vibrate. So you can just do your own mix and match of the functionality. So this is my Adafruit Learn page that also walks you through the details step by step. And also the other options for batteries, which is quite important. And you can get all of them from Adafruit.
Yes. That is one thing we don't have. We do not have like lithium ion batteries for sale. So, And yes, so you do have to buy one of them if you want it to be fully battery powered. Although, if you're just kind of playing around with it on your desktop, there's USB-C right here, and I assume that it gets power through that or through the battery.
Yes, it does. And one cool thing about this also is you can even use this as a battery charger.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so I always found it so annoying to even to find a specific lithium ion battery charger, but this one does the trick. If I run out of battery for other applications, my other boards, I would just plug into this flower and get a charge from here.
I love onboard battery charging, especially like with the, if you're powering something off of a single lithium ion, it's so easy. There's like one small chip that's inexpensive that like does the whole thing for you. They're really easy to use. And yeah, it's nice when people like you, and I know a lot of the Adafruit boards also incorporate onboard battery charging so that you can just like plug it in, have it charge, and yeah, not have to worry about unplugging it. Where's your battery? Where's your charger? All that stuff.
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
That is, of course, assuming that you can get the chip. Chip shortage makes everything harder, but has that affected you all with you at all? Yes. With yeah.
Yeah, we produced our first batch. When did we do that? I think it was when we had our very first prototype. Let's check. So 2019. So this one was when we did our first batch. So 2020, and then that was during the pandemic already, and the second batch really got delayed. And I was running a Kickstarter in 2021 and was hoping to get this out, but we delayed there, so we had to kind of postpone our Kickstarter as well. Yeah, and it also affected the price too. So the shortage of the chip itself. Yeah. But it was not too bad. Still, you see the price is still very reasonable, but it was cheaper, actually cheaper for the very first batch.
That is also often the case. Like the things that I've made too, it's like your first batch, you do as much work as you possibly can to get all your quotes, get all of your bill of materials set. But the first time you actually build it, there are changes, there are things, you learn more, and I almost always have to revise my pricing after that first batch. And it's all, almost always it gets a little bit more expensive because that's just the way it goes. You do the best you can, and then you're like, oh, there's other stuff. Now I actually have the data instead of just my best guesses. And so yeah, this is the price point it has to be at.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience that built out. When I first started this fashion brand, I was totally new, and even though I did like silicon chip design, and I know how to manufacture the really fundamental base of silicon photonic chips. It was very different to get into the fashion industry, knowing how do I convert these ideas, my sketches, and the samples that I made by hand into something that's scalable and repeatable. And working with manufacturer, it was so much back and forth. That's why I had, when you asked if every single piece was custom, my very beginning it wasn't, because I had to really learn how the industry works. So had to do a batch order. And there was so much changes and difficulties. Like you had to really think about how to lay out the fabric to reserve weight, to reduce waste. So you need to have all these pattern pieces that are laid out on a piece of rectangle as closely as possible, without all these areas that are basically waste. So I also learned how to even make other things, accessories, using those cut off, what's it called, swatches. So
cool.
Yeah. But one cool thing, one really helpful thing about digital printing is that I can even not only print the graphics on fabric, I can also print the pattern itself directly onto the fabric. So
Oh, cool.
yeah,
Huh.
so I don't even need paper patterns anymore. I don't have to transfer paper onto fabric because the fabric itself already has the pattern. I just directly cut the fabrics.
Nice. That is super cool. Wow. Yeah, that hadn't even
And
occurred to me that you could really reduce
yeah,
the setup time essentially. Yeah.
definitely does. I really want to scale this up because right now I think what everything I do at my Art by Physicist is
Mhm.
pretty much the cutting edge of every single process for fashion. And I don't see other brands doing this. Like from design to manufacturing, the whole process, I figured out at the small scale how to reduce waste to the minimum and how to speed up the efficiency to the maximum.
Yeah.
And also ways to like even digitally laser cut the fabric. So
I was going to ask
right
about
after
that.
you print, yeah, right
Yeah.
after you print, you don't even have to get it to a human hand to cut it. You just feed it through a laser cutter and cut the fabrics out. So then you don't even maybe not having to cut the print the layout in the first place. And
Interesting.
there's so many,
Let
yeah,
me ask you a question about that, about the laser cutters that are like specifically built for fabrics.
yeah.
Because like my first thought was like, man, you would have to have a really giant bed in order to cut
Yeah.
out these big things. But is that, do they just like unroll it and just basically have a line that's being cut and then do it that way, or do they have to lay it out on a big bed and cut them flat? Like,
Yeah, the factories that do use these machines need a very big bed.
okay, yeah,
So we don't have a good solution for small like home or micro factory. It's not something like a sewing machine anyone can buy for the home.
yeah,
So that is one developing area that some machine leaders are building, like automated laser cutting and automated printing, and those are just starting. So if all factories start to adopt that, they can really reduce so much waste and time.
yeah,
Yeah, so the software is also new. The software is still on the process of getting more designers to learn to use. So traditionally, still most schools are still teaching students how to do the paper pattern
mm,
and how to do the draping on the mannequin. So it's
mhm.
all physical. There's also the perception that designers don't really trust simulation, but after I tried all these things, I really do trust it.
Cool.
So yeah.
No,
So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. And I'm sure that's also, the simulations have gotten better, right? Over
mhm,
time. I'm
definitely,
sure that
definitely.
when they first started simulating, it probably wasn't very good, but
Yeah, it took a few years.
yeah.
It really gotten to the point that I can even generate personalized avatar and then simulate these fabrics onto the avatar directly. So the grading. So interesting thing is also
Oh,
the grading. You still have to do it manually. You have to adjust it. You have to tell the software how much you want to grade based on your base pattern.
mhm. And
But
for
I
people
think
who
that
aren't familiar with textiles, grading means how you adjust
mhm,
it for different sizes.
for different sizes, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so traditionally, all these fixed brands are just doing, say, XS, S, medium, large. Like they don't
Yeah.
fit it to different people. They just make those standard. But there's
Yeah.
really no standard. Nobody's body is the same.
Yeah.
So the software really help you get to different people, different body shapes even. So the different grading points would be adjusted very differently based on the measurements.
Yeah, very
And
cool.
this still needs to have more adoption. More designers need to learn how to use this.
Yeah, I'm wondering like if this software can also be used for like knitwear designers, because I mean the process of constructing the garment is obviously a lot different, but you're still designing to
Mhm.
various shapes, and that's been a really it's been a really big topic in the hand knitting industry for the last few years, has been size inclusiveness of patterns, because it's the same
Yeah.
thing where oftentimes, design like yarn brands would put out like these collections, these pattern collections based upon their yarn, and they would have, like 3 or 4 sizes, and the largest one would still be pretty small, and
Yeah.
so, and there was
Yeah.
like no variance for any kind of like individual body shape. And now a lot of designers are just putting a lot more time to expand their sizing ranges and to write notes in their pattern for like, this is how you might adjust it if, you need a bigger armhole, or, you need
Mhm.
whatever, like
Mhm.
less material around the waist.
Yeah.
And it's really been nice
Yeah.
to see. But yeah, I wonder if that software would be useful for simulating like
Yes.
kind of the general size and shape of a finished knit garment as well.
Yeah, so for knitting, it will be a different type of software.
Yeah.
So there are specific knitting software and machine that you can do actually streamlined. Once you simulate there, it automatically gets sent to the machine and just start knitting in 3 dimensions. There's no cut and sew, and they can
Yeah.
just produce the garments right there for you. There
Cool.
are some factories doing that, not a lot, but it's still a niche. Um,
Mhm.
it's also trying to get consumers to know that it is available. So
Yeah.
some brands are starting to do that. I think I've seen Ralph Lauren having experiment there, and there are limitations. You can't knit anything. There's specific types of stitches and specific patterns and designs that the machine is capable of doing.
Mhm.
So there needs to be some types of templating and standardizing. You
Mhm.
can't be crazy with your design. So yeah. So yeah, there's still a lot of the human errors and manual labor that's involved. But I think at a small scale, I'm able to figure out how to do this process all from a technological standpoint. But for the entire industry to adopt something efficient and environmental friendly, more automation has to be done.
Yeah.
So like I'm very small business, so I can take people's measurement, I can adjust the patterns for them. But for larger businesses, they have to really have automation.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they can't be handling all these orders coming in. Everyone has a different size. They have to manually fix things. That's not
Yeah.
scalable.
I feel like
Yeah.
we're really, really close to the future that I want, which is that you just get a full body scan done every now and then, and
Hmm.
it's in some sort of standard format that you just then
Hmm.
upload to the website that you want to buy your clothes from, and
Yeah.
then you have it. Like that
Yeah.
is the future I
Yeah.
want, and I want the same thing for shoes as well, because like shoes
Yeah.
are really hard to fit,
Yeah.
and yeah, I will be very excited to live in that future.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we are getting there faster than we think.
Yeah.
Uh, the technology that's needed for that application is actually already there. Is
Yeah.
just it just
Yep.
needs more development and more focus and investment in the space.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like fundamentally impossible. I think
Yep.
10 years ago we would say it's not possible, but now really we have all these computer vision,
Mhm.
machine learning type of automated way to figure out your body measurements.
Mhm.
Uh, there are also experiments done for getting people's 3D scanning, but I just don't think that is scalable enough. I just feel like you have to go to a physical place and get yourself scanned, or get all the physical products scanned. That is one approach, but I think there are better ways to do it.
I totally agree. So we have a comment here from Axwax. Hello.
Hello.
About the brooches. Do you know if one can run BLE MIDI on them and, for example, control synthesizers?
On this?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's a good question.
It is a good question. I mean, you have a USB port and BLE for data transfer. But yeah, I'm not familiar with BLE MIDI, so I don't know the answer to that question. But I thought that was a really interesting idea.
Yeah. You should hack on this.
Yeah, there we go. Tell us.
So you find out. Yeah, there was also another type of application we really wanted to try, but haven't got to it, was multiple BLEs. So this is only two, so you have two people interacting. But what if, I think when we were making this, the Bluetooth 5.0 wasn't ready yet, but now it should be. So it's possible to have multiple brooches. What if you have like a group activity, and then you can have different people sending secret message to different people, and they can identify different peripherals. Yes. And that would be very interesting as well.
Totally. As they are now, like, let's say you have a family with 2 kids. Are the brooches just paired? Are they paired to one another? Like from the get-go, or if you had 2 pairs that were in close proximity, would they kind of crosstalk and interfere with each other? Like, I guess, is their pairing unique? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole mesh of flowers in the same room, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had that question myself some time ago. We have to take a look in the code. I don't remember having to define ID, but I think it was possible to use the ATT command to identify the ID.
Okay.
So for this generic code, it doesn't seem to include that. But I remember trying this before. At least for the Blueno boards, I remember having to be able to find the ID of each Bluetooth. Let's see. Oh, my internet just got slow. Oh, my browser just stuck. I think the Blueno, we were able to identify the ID by just sending an AT command. And this is the same Bluetooth. So in principle, you'll be able to try that. So this was made in 2018, I guess. Okay, so yeah. So the Blueno, you can bind to different. You can know who's who.
Okay, cool.
So it should be the same for these boards.
Nice.
MAC address, yeah.
Cool. Nice. I've done pretty much nothing with Bluetooth programming as of yet, so this is all new stuff for me. Cool.
Yeah, Bluetooth is interesting. There's a constant improvement there.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely a lot of hacking here.
Nice. So I'm curious about, you mentioned having to learn a lot about the process of getting your artwork, which are sometimes paintings, very not digital, right? Completely analog, into digital format and printed. So what is that process like? And I mean, I know how difficult it is just to get like digital art into a circuit board layout program. Yeah, what does it look like to get art printed onto fabrics?
So it's actually super easy nowadays. I
Good.
even paint directly on the computer. So all my paintings are already digital. So I can even enlarge it to however big I want it to be. So
nice.
yeah, so that makes it very easy to lay out where you want to place the material, the pattern. So I can do things like matching the ring of the Saturn onto the planet. I know exactly where to place the painting with respect to the patterns. So when I do the design, I can shift them with a specific displacement so that I know when I zip it up, it will look whole. Even if on here it looks like.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Nice. That's cool. That's super. That's nice. That's like buying the expensive Hawaiian shirt where the pattern lines up over the button placard, Yeah.
Yeah.
It's those details.
I can show you something that also is super new and is pretty foreign to most fashion buyers, which is digital fashion. So this year I also launched a collection of digital fashion. This is through DressX. They have all these independent designers making digital fashion. So using the same simulation software, you can export not just the pattern for manufacturing, you can also export the whole digital asset as a 3D model. So then you can get people to wear it in like augmented reality. So for example, all these designs, you saw the physical version that we saw on Art by Physicist. But on DressX, you can have people wear them on like photos or videos because they are digital.
Cool.
So that's kind of different, very, very new thing. So we did all these simulations. So
neat.
a person can just upload a photo and get this overlaid on them.
That's awesome. See, we're getting close. We are getting close to that reality of just uploading your stuff and getting clothes that fit. Cool.
It's all very new. So I think there's a lot of education that's going on. When you ask about what if people think the custom clothing are too expensive, that's part of the education. So people have to really understand what the implication is for all these mass-produced, overproduced clothing that's actually being burned and dumped into in landfill. So they generate 10% of global carbon footprint.
Yeah.
So
wow.
we shouldn't be
producing
that people don't even want. So that's why I do on demand, is that let's make it when people want it.
Yeah.
So, and digital fashion also solves that problem. If your use case is just for online purposes, then you don't even have to have the physical garment. So that's also why they are much cheaper.
Yep. No, that makes sense. That's super cool. It's a great way of like really individualizing something. Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, it's totally new for people who have been buying clothes for decades. This is all very unfamiliar, so that needs a lot of the awareness.
Yeah. Cool. So tell me a little bit about how you got started in STEM and what your path into electronics and putting LEDs on clothes and things like that was like. How did that all happen?
Yeah, it was purely an intellectual drive. And I started as a physicist. I'm still a physicist, but I did very different things. So my education is focused on condensed matter physics, and I did experimental condensed matter, which then led me into producing computer chips. So my very first job was making silicon photonics the silicon photonics chip that is basically using CAD tool to draw the layout and how you would layer the materials to make semiconductors and use them in like data centers. You can have photons transmitting on chip and converting that into electronic signal, and you can communicate between data center servers. So that really helped me understand the scale of things. Back when you were doing research, like I did my PhD in plasmonics, is applied physics, and I handmade all these little chip structures in the nanometer and micrometer size.
Dang.
And everything was under the microscope, and sometimes you even need to pick your eyelash to pick things up.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's all this hard work and manual work those were pretty small scale. So usually as a researcher, you write a paper and you inspire the community, you inspire scientific community, and you propose applications of these really cutting edge innovation. But sometimes they don't end up in real products to be used. So my industry experience really helped me understand, how do I convert something we invent in the lab into real life products that millions, even billions of people are using? So, and then I move on to doing, actually, while I was doing that, I started doing design for fashion. So I think I got into Arduino because I was hacking on a robotics project with some friends. And we were using open source to build a robot and also like brain signal sensing. I was working with a friend who had his own startup called Brainco. And we did a project like using brain sensing to control the colors and the patterns of LEDs on the dress through Wi-Fi. So that was one of my my main hits in the 2016 San Francisco Fashion Week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I did that just because I didn't think about why. I just thought, why not? I'm doing all maker stuff and then I'm making traditional fashion. Why can't I combine both? So I just started making garments that had LEDs and had motion, like flying wings with servers, with servos. And I attended to Maker Faire and turned out there's a whole community of people doing all that. It's super cool to meet all these wearable tech gurus and other makers. So there's a lot of really cool ideas going on. But then the one thing that made me really drove me down this path was that, yes, we can hack on things, we can make one piece, but there are people asking me where to buy my designs. I have no idea. I was like, it's just my crazy idea, and I don't know how manufacturing works. I was curious, so I started digging into how do I convert these handmade prototype into repeatable products, and it's a whole can of worm I opened up. I just ran down a rabbit hole, found out all these problems in the fashion industry. Like everything was done so manually, and there's so much back and forth and human errors that shouldn't even occur. So my very first batch of design took more than a year to develop.
Yeah.
And it was crazy for me because I did the chip design. the efficiency of chip manufacturing is so much higher, so much more streamlined and automated.
Yeah.
Whereas clothing, this thing that we have been doing for thousands of years,
Yeah.
we with thousands of years of knowledge takes you a year to develop.
Yeah.
No longer sometimes.
And still a lot of
Yeah.
handwork in the final sewing of garments. Yeah.
It's sewing, sure, but then we have all these technologies that we can put together to really speed it up. If I have an idea in the morning, I have this outfit in the afternoon because
Yeah.
I have all these things ready. Maybe, yeah, if I need to wait for material, sure, I send this to like Spoonflower to print it. I get it in a week. Once the material's here, everything's done really fast. So I just thought that things that we can do at small scale has to find a way to get into the bigger scale. So that's why I just went all the way down to producing everything in a technical manner, and just cut off all the waste and unnecessary time that's needed. Yeah. So I think the industry is changing, and I'm using this business to also drive change. So yeah, I kind of push myself from doing just fundamental research and experimentation to be an entrepreneur, because that's how we can also get things to scale and make changes and make better impact. So
cool. Now, are you still working part-time as a physicist and working on your business as well? Cool.
Yes, yeah. I actually, for my day job, this past year I did a startup. It's also focused on tech fashion.
Oh, cool.
But very different, totally separate from my brand. My brand is on like embedding electronics and making physical products with technology. But my other startup is actually looking at how do we scale really good ideas and creativity into production level, into something everybody can use. So it's pretty cool, pretty big business. So trying to keep that going as well.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, this is also interesting. So something that you said earlier, you mentioned that one of your garments uses a circuit, a fabric circuit, where it's conductive ink printed on fabric. How do you go about prototyping that? Because, like, of course, I know a million places where I can get a circuit board made, or 3 to 10 circuit boards made. But how do I design a circuit for fabric, and how do I go about getting one made and prototyping that?
Yeah. So actually, the cool things about my work is also I make them open source whenever I have a new idea. So that is also on Hackster.
Awesome.
This is how I made the electronic circuit by hand. So that's the prototyping step. So all these different LED. This is a really nice thin thread LED. You can even set it up on your sewing machine. It's not very easy to sew, but there's a way to use sewing machine to feed the thread LED through. And conductive tape, they're my best friend. I always make these circuits by hand first as my prototype. And then I have a lot of good relationship with other companies and innovators. The printed electronics was done by a company called Novacentrics back then, and now they're called Pulse Forge. They spin off, but they focus on making the inks for printed electronics. So they wanted to also demonstrate what is possible with their technology. So we collaborated on building these repeatable, scalable fabric circuits. So let me find the actual circuitry here. Yeah, so this is my handmade prototype. Just use the tapes. And then Novacentric then took my design. So I designed the circuit layout. And they did the printing. I'm trying to find the actual circuits. These are still the handmade versions. Did I take a photo of that for this project? Let me show you the actual circuit.
Yeah, no problem. This is all great stuff. So interesting. I definitely have to check out that that LED strip because
I might have put one in my shirt already. Okay, here. So you see, this is the product that is so much more sturdy. It's all printed, it's a matrix, and we placed and soldered the LEDs to the specific location. So you can make really complicated constellations now. Because with the handmade one, you can only pretty much make like a linear shape. Like a Big Dipper or simple constellations. But with this, you can make all kinds of complex LEDs.
That is super cool. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a grid. So then you can place it anywhere. And then you can order one specifically for your birthday. And then it's customized for you like this.
Awesome. That's
it's
so
really nice to shine through the fabric.
Cool. So the LEDs are on their own teeny tiny circuit boards that are then sewn with conductive thread to the conductive parts that are printed on the fabric. Am I getting that right?
So this fabric itself is a circuit.
Here, hang on. I'm going to make you bigger. Yeah. Okay.
So this thing is flexible fabric circuit.
And the LEDs are just like, how are the LEDs attached to it?
It's it's not soldering.
Okay.
It's a specific type of bonding process. I don't think it's glue, but they have a specific bonding for this type of circuit because you can't really solder it because you would burn the fabric. You have to heat it up.
Yeah.
So I have a little video somewhere that shows the process. It's probably on my website already. Oh yeah. So you may find this interesting that I'm running this fashion brand so differently from traditional fashion brand. So for each design, I also have a little video to show how the technology works.
Oh, cool.
And, some explainer that may be interesting for you to watch later. So in here, we have the process of, here. Is bonded on this material is TPU.
Oh, wow. How cool is that?
And you place each LED on the location you want.
Wow.
And heat it up to bond it.
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so it's like, I get it. So the fabric is a circuit that's just like a big matrix with a bunch of different points that LEDs could be at, and then you're just populating the ones for that particular constellation. That is so cool. Yeah. Wow.
There are other ways to do it too. There's also a company called ZSK, which is embroidery company, and they have a line of embroidering conductive thread. So you could also set up a machine to specifically embroider any kind of circuit structure you want. And you can use components like the lily pads, LEDs, or whatever you place on it, and they would automatically embroider it for you, which is also another route. So
nice. That is awesome. Cool.
Yeah, it's so much fun making all these things that's different.
Are there any other like
people's direction?
Are there any other like interesting technologies that you're like, oh man, I've got to play with that. I've got to design something that uses this, this thing that I saw.
So yeah, recently I started using all these AI generation tools. So one of my latest design for the Meow is also to use use Daoyi to generate outfits for these cats.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, so people are pretty good at sending me their cats photos. I ask them to send me full body, high resolution cat photos so I can print them on fabric. But you know how difficult it is to get cats to stay still. So some customers were not able to really send me a full cat, or their cats are just blurry. So I used this. Let me find the actual video. I posted on LinkedIn some time ago. I had to hand paint them. I painted the cats, and I needed to paint their outfits as well. This cat, my friend Julie's cat Meow has this outfit on it. Oh, by the way, her painting is only this part, so I had to hand paint the rest of it. Some cats don't look that great in this outfit, so I wanted to change outfits for the cat. And I just went to Daoyi and had it generate a whole bunch for me. Let me find my video. It's actually pretty funny.
That is awesome.
Where is it?
So now are all of the things in your Meow line customizable for a person that like wants to send their cat picture in and have their cat on it? Okay, cool. That's rad.
Exactly. Yeah. It's super fun. I just love this collaboration. I think designing and making with others together is way more fun.
I love it. I as I said in like my tweet about this live stream, it's like all of my favorite things in like one bundle. It's like LEDs, programming, cats, textiles, like
Oh. That's right.
You do, yeah. You do great stuff.
Really, thank you. Yeah, and there are other technologies. For example, one of my coats here is reversible, and it also heats up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this is using Lumia e-textile. So they have a very thin heater. Is very flexible, and you can just embed it on any. It's got a adhesive. You can stick it onto any fabric. So I use this for this coat, and it's expensive also because it has all the embroidered flowers. These flowers not only are my hand paintings, they're actually embroidered
wow. Yeah.
on here. And this is laser cut button.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So
that's super cool.
I have a manufacturer make this. Yeah, I don't have an embroidery machine at home. That's too expensive. So the manufacturer is making this. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's all these components. This is the Lumia Tex e-heater. So not only can you wear this coat on both sides, on either side, you can also heat it up for winter so you don't have to wear too much clothes.
I love it. Nice. Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so here it is. Let me get to this. Yeah, so that's that. And then this is, come on. Okay. Here's the cameo. Quite a bit. This is the final product with the keys generated. And I'm using DALL-E to also make these, my next collection, which is a bubble shaped raincoat. And this is the process for making the pillows. So see, I had to wear different outfits and I pick a pair.
Nice. Nice. Yes, my cat would definitely not wear an outfit in real life at all. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's what AI can do for you, right? You can try things you would never do in real life. So this is the process of manually having different cats wear I use Photoshop paint over, but then I wasn't happy with both of them wearing the same thing. So I just let the AI to generate it.
Nice. I love it. I mean, that's awesome. That's also a great way to customize, to further customize each image. That's neat. Cool. Oh.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear people who give feedback that really like the designs. Yeah, it also generates all kinds, but I wanted to keep the cats recognizable, so I didn't change to all the other more artistic drawings.
No, that makes sense. It's almost like, I don't know, like it's like a family photo. It's like an event photo, like a graduation photo or something like that, where you have like all of these variations of these cats looking very serious. It's just it's delightful. I love it. Right. Oh, cool. Well, is there anything else that you want to show us or talk about or anything? I think I've run out of all of my questions.
Yeah. Any questions from the audience?
Yeah. They're a little bit on a delay. I've been keeping an eye on the comments. We're at a little bit of a weird time for normal West Coasters, but that's all right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for making this a time change for the
no problem.
difference.
No problem. Yeah, I don't want people who are, not in the US to have to be doing it at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. unless that's normal for them. That's fine.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. I can share some other fun thing. This one is a dress that you can upload images from your phone or videos.
Whoa.
So it connects to your phone through Wi-Fi, and you can draw even in real time what you want to display on the dress.
Whoa. How big of a
It
matrix
uses
is in there? Oh,
it's
nice.
a
That's like,
really fine. I think it's 500 by 500.
dang. Nice. Oh, I love like the battery compartment and everything. That's so nice.
Yeah, so when you design tech fashion, you really have to consider all the other aspects. How do people wash the clothes? How do you want to make the battery easy to hide and uh, also decent size?
Hmm.
How do you want to make the components removable? All
Yeah.
these things you have to consider. So yeah, it's just pushing the boundary, pushing that's not very normally done.
That's awesome. That is really neat.
And the painting was from my graphic novel. Is is called The Chaotic Earth in a Peaceful Universe.
That's cool. I didn't know you had a graphic novel out. Somehow I missed that.
Yeah, I've been making a graphic novel since I was a child. You can actually look at my oh, not this my website for the storyline. This
Mhm.
is something that I just feel so passionate about since I was a child. But making a graphic novel takes time, and it also is a record of my understanding of the world. So I
Mhm.
just made it my lifelong project. So I
That's
don't
cool.
care about publishing it or
Yeah.
um, making money, but I just really want to complete the story. So
Huh.
I taken time to just piece it together like a jigsaw puzzle. So I'll have a general storyline that's already written,
Mhm.
but the details I'm still placing more and more in as time goes on. So this year I actually have a pretty big project. I want to upgrade some of the drawings because I
Mm.
started when I was a teenager, and they actually look. Some of them are very childish drawings, um, and I just thought that when I get old, when I retire, I will have time to improve them. I will repaint everything. But with the help of AI, I
Yeah,
think they're
but at
yeah
the same
they're
time,
just
it's also good to have that record of where you came from and kind of see that
mhm.
progression, you know? Yeah. But I
Yeah.
yeah, I understand the feeling of like looking back at some previous stuff and being like, oh.
Well,
But
one
I
thing
mean, yeah, I just appreciate anybody who's put the time and effort to really hone their drawing skills because that's something that that never came very naturally to me and that I have not put the time and effort in. So therefore, I do not have very good drawing skills at all. So yeah,
well, now you can just put in a text and have the AI to generate it for you.
there you go.
I'm
Have Dolly do it for me.
better than humans now. So that
So
might
we
be a way
do.
for me to
Yeah, so
live a
we do
great
have a
yeah.
question.
Mhm.
So Axwax wants to find out more about the wearable solar cells. They saw
Hmm.
Bleep Track once mentioned flexible solar panels with custom shapes from some company in Germany, and is this similar?
Oh yeah, this actually was made with the German company you may be talking about. This is the Amor Asgard, so we collaborated on this dress, and the solar panel looks like this. It's very beautiful. It's made with customized designs,
Oh,
and
wow.
the traces, the circuit itself is already very decorative.
Yeah,
Uh,
I didn't realize like I saw that and I assumed that it was like fabric cut in the shape that was overlaid on top of it that
no,
was like making the solar panel like look like it was a shape. I didn't realize the actual solar panel was that shape. That is fantastic. Wow.
let me show you the actual solar panel here. Um,
I love that
it
people are doing decorative solar panels. I think that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's very thin film, so
Yeah.
it just became part of the fabric. It's
Wow.
laminated onto it, and it's
Nice.
flexible. We
Yeah.
have you don't see any electronic traces on it at all. It's just part of the design.
Wow.
And you put your there's a USB coming out from the pocket, and you put your phone in there. You get charged while you're walking around.
That is really cool. And now I want solar panels in all of my clothing.
Right? That's what I'm pushing for. I'm producing some designs here to show people it is possible, and really would appreciate more support to people showing that they want this. And I want to, for the next step, to also make all these electronic components customized, like mix and match, so you can pick where to put things. But that's for really next steps. But with the existing products that's already showing, this is a product you can already buy. It's not just a prototype anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you have to really show people how much things cost, so they understand it's not just one piece, one-off piece, but it's something really accessible. So yeah, this is the process of embedding that into the design.
Awesome. Wow. Check that out. Yeah, I mean, the shape and the flexibility are just really impressive of that. That's so neat.
Yeah, and it hides everything.
Yep.
You don't see any cable dangling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think early when I just started this, hiding the cable was such a pain. You have to you have all these wires soldered by hand, and for a show it's fine. For maker fair, you wear it inside, nobody sees it. But for making an actual product that other people can buy, that's a very different approach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
So it just got me really curious and dig deeper and deeper into it.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, they also wanted to say that your designs are very well thought out and super inspiring too. So
Thank you.
Could not agree more with that.
Thank you.
Cool.
Talking about graphic novel, actually, I do have also a book that I published, which is on quantum computing.
Nice.
I don't know if you've seen this before.
I have not. No. That's awesome. Where can we get a copy of that?
I have a whole link. I can post the link here on my website. Yeah, on my website. If you're in different regions, you can order it from the closest place on Amazon. So this is the page there. I also have classes that I teach through the concepts on Hackaday.
Nice.
So all these, yeah, you can order from any of these.
Cool.
So this is a code to search on Amazon.
Amazon, awesome. We'll definitely put a link to those in the description, and to your website and stuff too. So cool.
Yeah, thanks.
That's great. Well, I think this has been an amazing stream. I've learned so much. And yeah, are there any other thoughts that you want to leave everybody with?
Wow, thank you so much for having me here. I hope this was interesting, and really wanted more people to see that what's available in terms of creative technology. And I really hope to have more people applying technology in a way that really encourages the combination of science, engineering, design, and art, because I really don't think we should have a separation of discipline that way. And they really inspire each other, and also it does good to our society. If we use technology in a responsible way, we can really make bigger impacts like saving the environment, giving people better education. So these are the top things that I care the most about, and I really want to see the society also coming together for that.
Yeah, agree. Well, cool. Thank you so much for coming on. And thanks everybody for watching. We'll be putting out some shorter highlight clips later this week for anybody who didn't get a chance to catch the whole stream. And yeah, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
And we will not have a live stream next week because I'm going to be traveling to SuperCon. But the week after that, we'll be back on. Yeah. Oh, wait, are you going to be at SuperCon too, I think? Yes?
No, I miss it this year. Not traveling all the way across the ocean.
Yeah.
Next year. I love SuperCon. I always had a good time.
Cool.
And also the Hackaday Prize. I was a judge for 2 years.
Oh, nice.
It's so inspiring to see all these great ideas by the makers and hackers. So I really appreciate that there's like a platform like that. They get some funding to keep building their ideas. So I want to see more of that.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll see you all in 2 weeks. Bye.
Yeah. Great time. Bye.